Beautiful night here at Wrigley Field. The postseason-bound Chicago Cubs play their final regular season home game. It's a makeup of a May 30th rainout as they welcome in the Kansas City Royals. Great to have you with us, Jim DeShays and Len Casper. The Cubs will be a wild card team. The Royals have already clinched the American League Central. And JD, we're going to basically show you how tough the Central has been by looking at the teams with the best records.
Yeah, the old saw about real estate, location. Tough year to be placed in the NL Central. You see the best records in Major League Baseball, Cardinals and Pirates setting the pace, but the Cubs and Royals with identical records. Now let's take a look at the standings and see how that shakes out. The Royals very comfortably out in front. They've won their division 10 games better than the Twins. The Cubs are there 90-65, good enough for third place and a wild card play-in game.
And the Pirates are hosting the Cardinals tonight in the first of a big three-game set. Cubs 5-4 on this exciting homestand that has included a clinch for the postseason. They'll host the Royals. Maybe a World Series preview next.
Your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse, find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. Ford, check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Good stuff from Saturday afternoon. Theo Epstein, Jed Hoyer. We saw the executive chairman Tom Ricketts getting doused by champagne after the Cubs had clinched a wild card spot. Most likely scenario at this point is that they'll head to Pittsburgh a week from Wednesday to take on the Pirates in the wild card game. And they possibly could go to St. Louis if the Pirates catch the Cardinals. And an outside chance the Cubs could host the Pirates, but that would require Cub fans to root for the Cardinals this week, which would be kind of an odd thing, I guess.
Yeah, that's because of the nature of this division this year. It's created all kinds of strange scenarios with Cub fans rooting for Cardinals and the Cardinal fans rooting for the Cubs at times. But the bottom line is there's a very good three-team rivalry now in the NL Central. It figures to be that way for a few years at least.
So let's get the Kansas City Royals Southwest starting lineup written out by the winningest manager in club history, Ned Yost. Ben Zobrist, switch hitter. They got him from Oakland earlier this summer. Has been very good as a Royal. He'll be in the leadoff spot. Alex Gordon, you see, had a good two-game series here in late May. Kane, Hosmer, Moustakas, big part of their core right in the middle. Salvador Perez, a catcher, will hit 6. Alex Rios in right. bats seventh. Alcides Escobar is the shortstop, and Yordano Ventura, the pitcher, hits ninth.
Well, we'll check in on the Cubs defensively, and you'll see a fairly normal alignment in the outfield. Coghlan, Fowler, and Soler. But as you work your way around the infield, you're going to see Chris Bryant playing first base for the first time ever as a professional. Tommy La Stella's at third. Russell and Castro up the middle. Rizzo with the night off. Montero behind the plate. And the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Kyle Hendricks. Kyle out there for the 31st time. 7-7 and a 4.23 earned run average. Very good last time out. He suffered a loss, got beat 4-1, allowed 3 runs on 4 hits in 6 innings, but was really sharp. Struck out 8. Did not walk a batter.
This is the same umpiring crew that worked the Pirates-Cubs series. And Phil Cuzzi gets home plate tonight. Tony Randazzo's at first. Jerry Davis, the crew chief, at second. Rob Drake is at third.
It's interesting, Chris Bryant getting the start at first base tonight. Rizzo, plays every single day, so obviously he needs a break. Hendricks is an extreme ground ball pitcher, so there's going to be plenty of action for Chris tonight.
And away we go. A strike on the switch hitting Ben Zobrist. Convenient for the Royals. They'll play the White Sox for 3 starting tomorrow night. 0-2. And we're off to Cincinnati and Milwaukee. Royals went all the way to Game 7 last year, beaten by the Giants. They were a wild card team. And they are division champs for the first time in 30 years. They won the old American League West in 1985, and that was the year they went on and won the World Series. They have spent most of the season in first. Pretty impressive follow-up to their pennant-winning year last year. Popped up left side. La Stella makes the catch.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't think that the Royals would be able to repeat the success that they had last year. And the formula has been pretty similar. Lights out bullpen, a very athletic team, a very good defensive team. They hit for average, not a lot of power. They steal some bases, but they said very athletic, so they go first to third. They score from first on doubles.
Here's Alex Gordon. And he takes a cutter inside for ball 1. All-star for the 3rd consecutive year. Missed 48 games earlier with a left groin strain. He is a premier outfielder. The Royals catch the ball as well as anybody in baseball. By the way, no wind officially. 74 degrees. 0 wind. I think that's the first time since I've been doing games in this ballpark I've ever heard of that at game time.
There you go. See the Old Glory there moving just a little bit.
Ball 4. So a 1-out walk to Gordon, and it'll bring up Lorenzo Cain. He's having a fantastic year. First time All-Star. Career high OPS of 843. 99 runs scored for Lorenzo Cain. Pitch is a strike. The college football atmosphere right now.
Yeah, a lot of Royal fans here trying to make some noise.
Swing and a miss.
No doubt the Cub fans will rise to the occasion. Should be a fun atmosphere. Kansas City set attendance records in their home ballpark this year.
Line shot, center field. Dexter Fowler makes the catch. 2 outs, and it'll bring up Eric Hosmer. Third time in his 5-year career he's played in over 150 games. A refresher course on this Royals club. They hit for a high average. They hit doubles and triples. They don't hit many homers. They steal bases. And as we mentioned, play really good defense.
285 with runners in scoring position. 290 with men on base. Bested only by the Toronto Blue Jays in all of baseball.
1 ball, 1 strike. Hendricks facing Kansas City for the first time. Swing and a miss on the changeup. 1-2. Ed Hardig, our good friend, the Cubs historian, notes that this game tonight marks the latest date the Cubs have played a team from the American League since October 10th, 1945. That was Game 7 of the World Series against the Tigers. Runner goes, and he's safe. Huge jump by Gordon. And Montero didn't have much of a chance.
No, and even with that, had Russell been able to hang on to the ball, they might have gotten an out call there at second base. Russell has to come flying across the bag as the ball's inside a little bit. It hits Gordon, and thankfully not into center field. But look at the jump, and a modest lead, but a huge jump. And what appears to be a relatively slow track here tonight.
It's his second steal, and Gordon's very fortunate he did not get spiked. Watch right there. The left hand met the foot of Addison Russell. Two to Hosmer, just off the inside corner. Pitch Tracks thinks it might have been on the corner. Kyle's not messing around, is he? Working with a really brisk pace so far.
It's getaway day.
Yep.
It's usually his nature anyway. It's not his nature to walk 2 in an inning. As I mentioned, he didn't walk anybody last time out. It's against the Brewers here 5 days ago. Retired the first 14 batters he faced in that one.
Another all-star, Mike Moustakas. He's really come into his own this year at the plate. Career highs in most categories: home runs, RBIs, batting average, walks, OPS.
There's similarities in these two teams. The Royals, they finished poorly for a number of years. They had a lot of high draft picks, and these guys have now come to the big leagues. And a lot of homegrown talent for the Cubs, of course, as well. The difference being the Cubs are a slugging team who strike out a lot. The Royals are a high average hitting team that don't strike out much at all.
Hard on the ground, but right into the shift. Castro is there, and he'll get it to Bryant with plenty of time. 2 walks, a steal, no runs. Cubs coming up when we return. will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois. Let's check in on that Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Wipe off the camera. Dexter Fowler, he has scored 99 times so far this year. Chris Coghlan in left for Schwarber. Chris Bryant is going to play first base. Dabbled there a little bit as a kid in Las Vegas and in college as well. Tommy La Stella cleaning up with no Anthony Rizzo tonight. Castro, Montero, Soler, and Russell ahead of the pitcher Kyle Hendricks.
Plus defenders just about everywhere on the field for the Kansas City Royals. Gordon's won 4 Gold Gloves. Hosmer's won a couple. Escobar, the shortstop, is outstanding. Zobrist good no matter where you put him. Salvador Perez, a real weapon behind the plate as well. And the Lexus starting pitcher for the Royals is Ventura. Yordano Ventura, just 24 years of age. Electric stuff. You can reach 100 miles an hour with that heater.
It was their opening day starter. A couple of days before that start, he signed a 5-year extension worth $23 million with a couple of team options. Signed as a 17-year-old. He weighed in at 140 pounds when he signed back in 2008.
That reminds me of Carlos Martinez of the Cardinals. Similar in stature and similar in the way they could rush it up there. Cut his fastball. He also throws a changeup and a curveball. Curveball's a plus pitch for him.
Two and 2 on the switch hitting Dexter Fowler. 3rd in the National League with those 99 runs scored as he bounces to Hosmer. One out, and it'll bring up Chris Coghlan.
So the Royals obviously had a great year last year, and they're having a very nice year this year, but they've not been very good here of late. 10-15 in September. Their starting pitching is down near the bottom of the American League in terms of ERA and innings pitched. Ed Yost seems like his MO is, you know, get me into the middle innings, boys, and I'll turn it over to that talented bullpen. They tried to address it by acquiring that man there, Johnny Cueto, but he has not pitched particularly well since joining the Royals.
Chris Coghlan on the ground. It's Hosmer again. He will flip to Ventura covering the bag. And Coghlan's 2,500th career plate appearance. He's a ground out victim. Now Chris Bryant. So Bryant has played 3rd, all 3 outfield spots, in 1 start in the DH spot, and now playing 1st.
Yeah, Joe has not been hesitant to move his young guys around.
That's a strike.
You're on this roster, and Joe says, "Can you play, you know, position X, Y, or Z?" And you think there's no way he'd really put me there. You better not say yes, because he loves the flexibility.
19 hits over his last 11 games. Does not seem to be slowing down here in September.
No. August and September have been lights out. 362 in the month of September with an OPS up over 1,100. Dial it up a notch here to catch up to the upper 90s heater from Ventura.
I always thought that was strike 3. Instead it's ball 2. Bounced and it's full. Stella is on deck.
So far Ventura hasn't shown command of the curveball. Very sharp breaking pitch. I guess when you face a guy who throws 98, you pretty much got to be ready to hit that heater all the time. Just hope he makes a mistake with the breaking ball.
High deep drive center field. Kane is back on the warning track. He's got just enough room as he pulled it out of the vines.
No wind. Come on, wind.
Needed a little extra push. And after one, 0-0.
For the second, Chris Bryant almost going yard in his first at-bat, now back over at first, which is a place Joe Maddon said he's always been interested in seeing what he could do over there. Really just intriguing to see what he could do all over the field.
He's a good baseball player. He's the best base runner on the team, probably him and Javi, purely with instincts and speed and ability, and he's that. And then defensively, I'm comfortable with him anywhere. I wanted to see him at first base. Like, again, I just think that adds to his resume moving down the road. I don't doubt that he could play shortstop. I don't think I'd want to see him at second base, vulnerable to a guy sliding into him, but I will bet that he could play shortstop too. He's done a great job everywhere.
Of course, Anthony Rizzo, guys, before the game, actually watching Bryant warm up over there at first. And Joe, Tate, don't do too well over there. Maybe don't stretch or something. I don't want you making me look bad. So Rizzo, of course, getting the night off. And Joe liking the fact that if Bryant can handle it over there, it'd be a possibility in the future.
Thank you, Kelly. Salvador Perez, the catcher, swinging and missing 2-2. Last year, he made 158 combined starts back at the plate. Regular season, postseason combined, and he strikes out here. 132nd start behind the plate this season. First strikeout victim of Kyle Hendricks.
Sinkers and changeups down, a big part of the equation for Hendricks.
Alex Rios on a playoff team for the first time in his 12th season. There's Morales putting together a great season. Not in their lineup with no DH tonight. It would be a possibility to play some outfield in the World Series at a National League park. That got hit in the ankle the other day by a pitch. Pulled and caught by Lostello. 2 down.
Probably would have been chest high for Bryant.
You gonna tell him that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Escobar. Guess what? He was an all-star too. hit leadoff much of the year, demoted in the batting order earlier this month. He's hitting 8th here tonight.
Yeah, well, they had a lot of All-Stars and a lot of deserving All-Stars. The Kansas City fans really got out the vote. Buddy Biancalana just missed making the All-Star team. Omar Infante, he did, didn't he? Did he end up making it? Remember, he was leading the way there.
Omar Infante.
I know that was a story back around the break.
Did not make it. He's got an oblique injury at the moment. Ground ball into center for a base hit. So Escobar is 9 for his last 20. That is the first hit of the ball game.
You see Escobar, a base stealer, but batting in the 8-hole in front of a pitcher, that changes the equation a little bit here for Ned Yost. He can't afford to have Escobar thrown out trying to steal and have Ventura leading off the next inning. So if you wanted to critique Ned's lineup, that would be the one thing you might point at, say, well, if your pitcher's hitting, you're kind of wasting Escobar's speed in the 8-hole.
Ventura takes a strike. 1 for 8 in his career. This is Ventura's second start against the Cubs. Well, I guess we could say kind of 2 starts in 1 series. Well, not really. Get out of play. May 31st, he got a no decision in the Cubs' 2-1 victory in 11 innings. Remember that final day of May, and it was about 40 degrees here. David
I don't remember
Ross
that.
Parachuted one in the left.
I don't remember that
Walk
specifically.
off.
I remember this guy pitching pretty well.
Down by Montero.
I'm sure if I saw a replay of it, I would go, oh, yeah, I remember that.
We can find something from that day. I just remember thinking how cold it was for that particular date.
And it's ironic because it's steamy and muggy here, and that's the other part about the ball. Brian, normally when it's this muggy and warm, the ball really carries here, but again, no wind at all.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 47 degrees with a north wind of 21 when we started that game on May 31st. Look at the homegrown talent on both sides. The Royals had a lot of high draft picks. Gordon, Moustakas, Hosmer. And they hit on those. Although, you know, some Royals fans, if you go back a few years, JD, would say, well, they hit on them, but maybe a year or two later than I thought they might, but here they are now.
Yeah, well, that's a great lesson. You know, I know fans don't want to hear be patient, be patient. You talk about the evolution, the growth of a player. Sometimes a guy gets pushed to the big leagues because he has a high ceiling. He doesn't perform very well right away. And people say, man, this guy is going to be a bust. But given time, typically those first-round draft picks, not always, but typically they turn out to be pretty good players.
Tommy La Stella hit third and fourth in the minor leagues, so this is not a completely unfamiliar situation for him, batting cleanup. 1 ball, no strikes on Tommy, playing third tonight. It's that one hard and just foul past first.
Great effort there by the ball boys. Fundamentally sound, just didn't come up with it. See, La Stella, Joe's got him in a very important part of the batting order here because he knows he can handle velocity. We've seen that time and time again, and Ventura's an extreme hard thrower. La Stella is batting .353 against right-handed fastballs, if you're into that kind of thing.
Pretty well out into deep center. Kane on the warning track. That's his second catch out there on the dirt. As Cub fans, you know that a player's walk-up music is sometimes as important as the way they play tonight. Cubs players dish on what goes into picking the perfect track. Don't miss the Hunt for October presented by Felco tonight after the game on Sportsnet Central.
Hey.
You're getting into it. I like it.
Lori and I were here last night as fans. And so when we got into it big time. You have to. Everybody down there is clapping and stomping their feet.
Yeah, it has taken on a life of its own, and it's been a lot of fun. I never remember seeing players in a dugout do that before an at bat. Zobrist shading Castro up the middle. Makes that a pretty routine play. 2 outs.
No, it's a natural evolution, right? We've got from walk-up music. Now we're going to walk-up clapping. Next thing we're going to have dance numbers.
Taro hitting .323 his last 19 games. Swung on and missed. Strike one. They're already in the bottom of the 5th in Pittsburgh. Jay Happ has given up 1 hit. He's been great against everybody except the Cubs since he got traded to the Pirates. Lance Lynn, 4 shutout innings so far for the Cardinals. One and two. Foul tip, strike 3 on a changeup. Scoreless after 2. Xfinity high-speed action. This is kind of an annual thing, but I think it seems even more cooler this year. The way this team has bonded with the fans here at Wrigley Field. Players before the game tossing out souvenir Major League Baseballs to an appreciative audience.
Autograph too.
Good stuff.
Scrambling to get a Rizzo out there in the bleachers.
And Zobrist on the ground to Castro, and he makes the play. Quickly one out for Mr. No Decision. 16 no decisions in 30 starts for Kyle Hendricks. It's the most in baseball. It's actually tied for the most in a single season in Cubs history. Dennis Lamp had 16 starts without a decision in 1980, according to Stats Inc. Strike on Gordon. Walk and a steal in the first. Looking right behind Justin Upton, second pick in the 05 draft. Former third baseman.
Good change up. So that's the thing about this Royals team. As I mentioned, they don't strike out much. As a matter of fact, they have the best strikeout rate in baseball. They don't walk a whole lot either. I mean, that Cardinals team a couple of years ago.
He went. 2 outs.
Cut fastball up in the zone. Look tasty, but it's bad for you.
Kane line to center in the opening inning. That's deep to left. And it's going to stay in the park. Coghlan's got it.
Wow, I thought he crushed that ball.
I thought he did too. I think he thought he did. Still nothing.
Experience at beautiful Sloan Park. Go to Cubs.com/Mesa to place a deposit on season tickets and secure the best seats available. Individual spring training tickets will go on sale in January. Why wait? Be sure to visit Cubs.com/Mesa. Get them now. If not, make sure you come back and check later for updates.
Huge crowd once again tonight to wrap up the home schedule. don't want to assume, but got to have a few more games in this ballpark in the coming weeks, right?
No.
Don't want this season to end.
Just hand the ball to the cyborg and let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Jake Arrieta, my goodness.
Gotta like your chances in that wild card game. The Cubs will be in that game. They cannot win the division at this point. The three scenarios are at Pittsburgh, at St. Louis, or here against the Pirates, as I mentioned. So it is likely that they'll be on the road, but they'll have the hottest pitcher in the universe for that start, and he will go on Friday in Milwaukee in his final regular season tune-up. Great swing by Soler. I think he's going to love looking at the video. That 2-1 swing, if he does, as he bounces out. Jake Arrieta perfect through 6 last night, and I thought he was going to go all 9. And I think his manager thought he might too.
Yeah, and obviously when we get to this stage of the season, you're worried about overextending a guy, but he was so efficient, so dominant, but only threw 80 some odd pitches, so he was positioned to go the distance yet again.
So gave up the hit to Polanco. Didn't make any sense to push it. National League Player of the Week as a result.
Yeah, it's just been unbelievable. He did this as well. He crushed this ball at right center, and he almost hit another one.
Good call in the second inning. How about 40 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings in this ballpark for Arrieta? As Russell's hustling and he's thrown out by Escobar.
Yeah, I was thinking yesterday during the day. I knew Jake was going to pitch, but I was just running some things through my head. I said, I wonder if Joe thought about shaking up the rotation a little bit so that the Pirates wouldn't get another look at him prior to that play-in game. But, where's their psyche now facing him after what they saw last night?
Right. Yeah. That's an excellent point. The Wrigley Field streak, by the way, according to Elias, is the longest ever by a pitcher in this ballpark. Bob Gibson in the mid-60s went 37 straight scoreless innings here. And part of the narrative so far, JD, was how great he was on the road. And yet, basically, 41 straight innings at Wrigley Field without allowing a run.
He's got an ERA in the second half of what? Oh, something.
Yeah, he's on pace to set a major league record. Post All-Star break earned run average.
Yeah, the Arrieta factoids are mind-boggling.
Hendricks strikes out, so all of a sudden you look at Ventura. He's perfect through 3 tonight. The 2016 Cubs convention, it's coming up January 15th through the 17th at the Sheraton Chicago Hotel and Towers. Hotel packages and weekend passes are on sale now. Visit Cubs.com/convention to get your passes before they sell out. Eric Hosmer looks at a strike. He walked in the first.
Yeah, line drive ground ball type hitter, mostly a pull hitter, so the Cubs are shifted. 3 on the right side for him. Done a little more digging on Arrieta just because it's fun. His last 8 starts, he has an ERA of 0.30. 61 innings, 28 hits. That's a 135 batting average. 66 strikeouts against 7 walks. Two earned runs allowed in 8 starts.
How about in the last 19 starts, he's hit 2 homers and allowed 2.
That's one of the all-time best seasons in Cub history. You see where he ranks since 1920. Top of the heap now, past the Hall of Famer Grover Cleveland, old Pete Alexander.
Called strike 3 to get Hosmer.
We're not buying it. Hendricks doing his thing, painting the corners.
Moustakas fouls. Regular season ends Sunday. All games will start at the same time, just after 2 o'clock Central. Don't know how much drama there will be, but the idea going into this season was don't stagger the start times like normal, because then, you know, if a team found out that somebody else lost, that's a fair ball, and it glances off the glove of Bryant into the bullpen. Castro will retrieve. Moustakas has a double. It's the Royals' second hit, and the second time they've had a man in scoring position.
Bryant was tight to the line. Ball sharply hit. He just could not flag it down. Unfortunate that his first chance was a ball hit so sharply.
Yeah, so the idea would be, you know, you got maybe an East Coast game, possibly affecting a West Coast game. Final day of the season, you hold back a pitcher that you might not normally use.
Didn't that happen last year with Wainwright and the Cardinals? Then he was scheduled to pitch. Ultimately, they didn't need to, so they
start them all at the same time. I like it. Most of that drama will be in the American League, if at all. Angels have a 4-game series at Texas to finish the season. That could be a big one.
Royals fans here are a noisy bunch.
One and 2 on the catcher, Perez. Moustakas at second. Here it is. Swing and a miss. He got it. Number 5 for Kyle. And 2 outs.
There's the changeup grip. You know, a little cutting action down and away from the big fella. Second time Perez has punched out today. Maybe turn the fan on. See the moon last night?
Pretty cool, huh?
Lunar eclipse, yeah.
Wainwright could possibly be available as a reliever by Wednesday for St. Louis. He will not start in the postseason. Not enough time to stretch him out. Carlos Martinez will not pitch again for St. Louis. Shoulder issues. One and two on Rios. And Yadier Molina will not play the rest of this week. Dealing with that thumb injury.
Yeah, what's the latest
here
on that? Are there any updates other than that fact that he won't be playing?
That's it. Yeah. At the end of the bat, threw it on the ground to Bryant. He'll get it to Hendricks. Plenty of time to get to the bag before Rios does. Royals strand a man at second. Midway in the fourth, 0-0.
Yourself later in the game, brought to you by T-Mobile.
Cubs without a base runner through the first 3 innings. Chris Bryant gave Ventura a scare on a deep drive in the first that was caught by Kane right up against the wall. He's not had to work from the stretch to this point.
Stella hit the ball hard leading off the second. No base runners. Cubs can have a little luck second time through the order.
Yesterday, Chris Young, the veteran tall right-hander, pitched 5 no-hit innings. He got the win for Kansas City against Cleveland after finding out his father had passed away the night before, but he wanted to make that start. It was his first starting assignment in 2 months. Had been working out of the bullpen. That's why he was taken out during the no-hitter. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, it's just tremendous to be able to battle through that. I couldn't have done it. Talk about compartmentalizing.
to Zobrist.
So I'm curious to see what Ned Yost decides to do when the Royals start the postseason. Who will be on the mound for Game 1? Will it be this kid? This guy was really good, Ventura, in the postseason for them last year. He was their opening day starter. Fell on hard times, but he's come back to pitch pretty well now over an extended period. Johnny Cueto obviously has the resume, the pedigree, but he has struggled a little better of late.
And that's the other advantage, right, to not being a wild card is you get all that extra time before you start the division series.
Yeah, so he'll have his guys rested and ready to go whichever way he decides to go.
And by the way, as the 1-1 Conklin misses outside, that is one reason why the extra wild card round, that you need to make it as short as possible, because if we ever do expand it to the best of 3, you're making teams where they bye wait a long time, and that is not ideal.
Get out of the flow. Yeah. Well, both wild card teams last year. This team won the play-in game and won 8 consecutive postseason games before running into the Giants.
And strikes out, 2 away here in the Cubs' 4th. I don't know what year it was, but Mike Scioscia did not love the idea, and they did get rid of some off days. I think the Angels had played 8 games over a 20-day stretch.
Yeah.
1 October.
That's not
just
baseball.
No. Bryant sitting on 99 RBIs. Well, I wouldn't say sitting on. He's kind of raced to 99. It's like it's a matter of time before he gets into triple digits.
And it's funny, that breeze that we showed a little bit ago seems to have died down again.
The National League West is not over yet. Dodgers are 6 up on the Giants with 7 left. Dodgers are in San Francisco to start a 4-game series. They just got swept at Colorado. And you know, there are some Giants fans who probably wishes the Dodgers had just clinched before they got to San Francisco, right?
Yeah, they don't want to see that celebration take place in their ballpark. Although there's also that segment of the fandom that are saying, we can do this.
Swing and a miss. Hey. 4 perfect frames for Ventura. He has been lights out so far. Baseball, reserve your place in line for history in the making. Join the season ticket holder waiting list. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list. Great work by all the guys who handle pitch tracks here at Wrigley Field. Dave Abbott, Keith Glab, Dan Ochoa, Nick Pinto, and Ben Stack. Nice work all season long, fellas. Escobar takes ball one. How about that trade the Royals made? Getting Alcides Escobar and Lorenzo Cain. And the Zach Greinke deal. Greinke's really good. As that ball's lined and caught by Hendricks. He just stole away a hit from Escobar.
Yeah, an opportunity for Ventura to bunt him over, but hang with him. Well struck. Take that good feeling back to the dugout. On the screws, but I'm out. Yeah, well, if you've got an asset like Greinke to move, you got to make sure you get the right pieces in return.
I think Ventura wanted to swing at that one. I'm not sure he's going to.
For some reason, Phil Cuzzy didn't want to call it a strike. Maybe it was invisible. Got quick feet, doesn't he?
Well, that's a problem. I think sometimes of going up there and kind of acting like you don't want to swing. You got to be ready.
Be too relaxed in the batter's box.
Called strike three.
Up and in, down and away, pitching 1-0-1 to finish him off. Tomorrow, join Comcast Sportsnet for a Coors Light viewing party at Chaser's Sports Grill and Bar in Lake Zurich. Watch the Cubs battle Cincinnati, enjoy Coors Light, and score free giveaways tomorrow night. It all starts at 6. Great beer equals great responsibility. Cubs off to Porkopolis for 3 before finishing the regular season in Milwaukee. Heron, Lester, Hamill will work for the Cubs in that series. Josh Smith, Anthony DeSclafani, and John Lamb, as the Reds continue to trot out an all-rookie rotation. Since July 29th, nothing but rookies making starts for the Cincinnati Ball Club.
1-2 on Ben Zobrist from Eureka, Illinois. Swing and a miss. Strike three. He's 0 for 3. Hendricks trying to match Ventura, and he has in terms of keeping the Royals off the board. Beautiful night here in the city. Thanks,
sometimes, Cap, as you know, you have to think outside the box.
He was giving his broadcast partner a break since we were playing one another. 0-2 on Tommy La Stella. Just in front of home plate. Dono Ventura from the Samana in the Dominican Republic. Located in the northeastern part of the Dominican. Great whale watching, I guess, in his hometown. 3-1. Hosmer's been busy.
Yeah, you might want to try somebody else. He's sure-handed down there.
Let's see, only 2 balls have left the infield, right? Bryant, this warning track shot, and Stella, the liner. That's it.
It's infectious. You can't help but clap along.
Line shot, Castro. Kane makes the catch.
How locked in is Castro? Carried a .407 batting average for the month of September into this ball game. Hit that double to drive in 2 last night. Huge hit in that ball game. Unfortunately for him, Kane there to track it down.
Yeah, his average has gone up almost 30 points over the last month and a half. Kane, he probably feels like a hockey player playing in a rink that's 170 feet long, right? He's going back. He's going, oh, the wall's right here. I'll just sit and wait. Yeah. Okay, there's the ball. Two and 0 on Montero.
So they have this StatCast, right? Measure speeds and jumps and all things of that nature, velocity on throws from the outfield. Have they put up a leaderboard? Do we know like who the most efficient route runner is for an outfielder in baseball?
They do have a StatCast leaderboard, I believe.
I haven't played around with that enough to know. You see those numbers sometimes, but I'm not sure exactly what they mean. Is 96% route efficiency, is that really good, or does everybody do that?
Well, I don't know if route efficiency is listed. Chris Bryant has the longest home run this year with a 495-foot shot. We've got exit velocity. I don't see route efficiency listed.
Another one to Hosmer.
Man, oh man. 5 perfect innings for the Royals starter, Yordano Ventura.
at Wrigley. The Cubs clinching celebration happening, of course, on Saturday. Being down on the field, watching it happen, so cool to see the players, and even more so maybe the coaches relish in that moment. Chris Bosio, a guy who's been here since 2012, been through a lot of the ups and downs, and says rewarding would be an understatement this season.
It's a process, and you look back on it when I will at the end of the season, because right now we're still grinding it out and trying to win every game. But it's very rewarding because you can only take so much of getting your teeth kicked in. I'm too much of a competitor, and I'm a poor sport. But you keep your mouth shut as much as you can. When you see the other team, doing what they do, celebrating on your field or in front of you all the time, and it gets tired. And we plan on doing some butt kicking for a while, so it's our time now.
It's their time now. Bosio certainly resurrected a lot of pitching careers here on the North Side, guys, and for him to enjoy that moment was really something else, and you can see he's ready to keep on going here into October.
I like that he cleaned it up for us. It's a 1-1 on Gordon. It's low, 2 balls and a strike. Nothing. We're in the 6th inning. 2 hits, both belonging to Kansas City. Escobar a single, Moustakas a double. Swing and a miss, changed him up. 2-2.
The sinker changeup combination that was so good for Hendricks last year against left-handed hitters hasn't been quite as good this year.
Strikeout number 8.
From start to start, he hasn't been quite as consistent with it, but obviously when he has those 2 pitches going, he's really good against lefties. And again, pinning the inside corner with that fastball. Slows them down with the changeup. They're sort of sitting back. They don't want to get fooled. Then slips that heater in there, and they can't pull the trigger.
Not to be overshadowed by Ventura. Hendricks has been dealing. Kane was lined out and fly to the warning track on a ball we both thought was out. One and one. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll see the Royals again.
I'd be up for that. That would be fun.
And I'm not talking about a game in Surprise next March. And the ball hit pretty well this time off the end of the bat as Coghlan calls it in. Get into the holiday spirit a little early. Support Cubs charities by being a part of our holiday tradition. Purchase your limited edition Chicago Cubs home and away Christopher Radko glass ornament. Ornaments are $60. All proceeds will benefit Cubs charities. Visit Cubs.com/ornament for more information. The Royals have to finish ahead of the Blue Jays. Clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The American League won the All-Star game, so the AL pennant winner will have home field. Ned Yost was the All-Star manager. If the Jays and Royals tie, the Jays win on the head-to-head tiebreaker. They went 4-3 in the season series. The Royals were their first 90-win campaign since 1989. They've improved their record in 6 consecutive seasons. Hosmer strikes out. The night of starting pitchers, 9 strikeouts for Hendricks. Cubs try to get on base when we come back. Hendricks has already tied his career high with 9 strikeouts. He did it on July 22nd in Cincinnati. Meanwhile, Yordano Ventura, a perfect game through 5. The Royals have never had a pitcher throw a perfect game. Their last no-hitter was thrown by Brett Saberhagen in 1991 against the Chicago White Sox.
Man, could he pitch. Took about pinpoint control to go along with plus stuff.
It's Trevor Cahill in the home bullpen. 2-0 a hitter's count here on Jorge Soler. Here's a pitch. Bounced up the middle and through. And the Cubs have a hit. Check them both off the list. Perfect game is done. The no-hitter is over.
Let's see if the Cubs can do something about the shutout. Soler bangs one right back through the middle. Man, he hit a rocket. I told you earlier that I was sitting down in the stands last night. He hit a rocket past A.J. Burnett's head last night, and thank goodness it didn't hit him. We were talking about StatCast earlier and exit velocity. Soler, when he hits the ball on the line, not many hit it harder.
Russell, Kyle Schwarber's on deck to hit for Hendricks.
Well, I think this is multi-pronged. 1, trying to score. 2, not pushing Hendricks. And 3, getting Trevor Cahill stretched out.
Stock is in on the grass at third. Here's a pitch to Russell. Swing and a miss. Ventura can't get it. Throw's going to go to second. Well, it would have been easy for Ventura to kind of panic there. He did not realize he had time to get the lead man. That'll go 1-6 to force Soler.
Yeah, I was chatting with Rex Hudler before the game, the analyst over there on Royals television, and Hudler was saying Ventura loves to play the game. He's always chasing the ball around on the diamond. Very athletic. Heads up play here. Yeah, there's potential panic here. Hosmer's actually telling him to go to the bag, but the right play was the play that Ventura made, because Soler had to wait in case that ball was caught in the air. Couldn't afford to be doubled up.
So now the pinch hitter, Kyle Schwarber. How about a run here to give Kyle Hendricks a shot at the win? Mr. No decision. He deserves that opportunity, don't you? No throw, Hosmer. Able to dig it out of the dirt.
Kyle's, been frustrated at times this year, coming out of games a little bit early, but by and large, he's had another fine season. You figured there would be some regression off the numbers he posted last year. He had a 2.46 ERA last year in 13 big league starts.
Strike on Schwarber. Look out, Dexter Fowler on deck. Ball. Just about over his head. In the dirt.
See how quick Ventura is to home plate. Awfully tough to run against. The guy behind the plate is really good too, Perez. So this year there's been only one stolen base with Ventura on the mound. 5 have tried. Only one has made it. So most teams just shut down the running game against Ventura.
Schwarber fouls out of play. Apparently Stephen Piscotty collided with Peter Borges tonight in Pittsburgh, and pretty scary. And we hope he's all right. They are still scoreless in that one in the 7th.
It's really been incredible what the Cardinals have been able to do with all the injuries that they have suffered this year. Mostly because their starting pitching has been so consistent. It was so consistent for most of the year, not so much here in September. See, on our pitch tracks there, number 5 was a changeup, and you don't want to throw changeups up there. You got away with it.
Gordon calls it in.
Kyle Hendricks' night is done, but a career high tying 9 strikeouts. The formula, that sinker changeup combination, you see it work here last inning with Hosmer. He's got a lot of swings and misses on his changeup. You see it first on the left, the off-speed pitch way out in front, and then when the hitter's thinking, oh, I got to stay back, I guess that's Wood, not Hosmer, and then Gordon, excuse me, taking the fastball over the inside corner for strike 3.
Fowler with 2 outs.
Slow him down, speed him up.
It's a strike. They're trying to get hot again, coming off a terrific month of August. 211 so far here in September.
Ooh, look at it.
Fan made a great grab on a missile.
Played a little shortstop back in the day.
Two strikes to Fowler. Kick the pitch. Bounced it in front of home plate. Change up. 1-2. Outside, Ventura's been very efficient. That's only his 73rd pitch.
Come on, Blue.
Called strike 3, and that will end the inning. So he gives up a hit, but the Cubs cannot get that guy into scoring position.
Popular way to follow the Cubs' push to the postseason is with MLB.com at bat. The #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now.
Changes now for the Cubs. Schwarber stays in after pinch hitting. He plays left. Bryant goes from first to center. Coghlan goes from left to first. Trevor Cahill will pitch. We're in the 7th inning in a scoreless tie.
Yeah. This game flying along. This is the anniversary of the fastest 9-inning game in baseball history back in 1919. A 51-minute ball game.
Not too many warm-up pitches in between innings.
Somebody had a train to catch.
Stockus takes a strike.
Cahill, since joining the Cubs, has used his changeup more. He's backed off the slider. He throws a good sinker, also a curve. So he's got a 4-pitch mix. Since joining the Cubs, as I mentioned, fewer sliders, more changeups.
Rifled into center, so Moustakas with his second hit. It's one of the leadoff variety. Here's Perez, the catcher. The stretch tonight will be conducted by the grounds crew. This is the final regular season home game. It was an annual tradition, so they'll do it from the field in front of the Cubs dugout. I was just going to say, trust me when I tell you this, Cahill gave up that hit so he could get a double play ball.
Yeah, well,
I was kidding, but it worked.
And Perez not a speedy guy. This is about as routine a double play as you're going to get. Castro's biggest issue is having to tiptoe around the second base umpire out there. Don't get screened, and from there it was real easy. See, Perez not even in your picture there as that play was completed.
Yeah, I remember once, reading a whatever message board or something, and somebody was ruining the fact that somebody had a leadoff walker hit for the Cubs because they said it just sets up the double play.
Well, if that's not fatalistic thinking. The peek into the heart and mind of a pessimistic fan.
Right. Leadoff hit.
Oh, man.
Setting up a double play ball. 2 strikes on Rios. Clayton Richard just grabbed a ball in the Cubs pen. Here it comes. Ball 1. 1-2.
Trevor's been good since joining the Cubs. He had a 7.52 ERA with the Braves, a little over 2 in a Cub uniform.
And he makes pretty quick work of the Royals. Double play ball and the strikeout. And we'll get ready for the stretch down on the field. 0-0 in the 7th.
Tonight's guest conductors for Take Me Out to the Ball Game from the field, the Wrigley Field grounds crew.
Let's hear it, Cubs fans. Our team is in the postseason, baby. Let's get it! Let's go, baby! A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and crackers. I don't care what
Cubs batting here in the 7th against Yordano Ventura, who has been terrific tonight. For the Cubs, it's been Hendricks and Cahill. Oakland takes ball 2-0. Nice job by the grounds crew with the stretch. $40,552 for this makeup game. And for the season now, $2,959,812. Cubs would have gone over $3 million if not for the bleacher renovations early in the year. And the increase from last year, over 307,000 more fans through the turnstiles. Inside, it's full.
Well, the Field of Dreams, right? If you build it, they will come. In this instance, if you build it, meaning building the team, they will come.
Foul. The Borges-Piscotty collision. Very, very scary. I wish I hadn't seen it. Like Piscotty went right into Borges' knee. They both went down. Well, I hope he's all right.
Did they have to stretcher him off the field?
I think so. Ball 4. Cubs with their second base runner tonight. Comes Bryant.
Well, the MO for Ned Yost is to get to that bullpen as quickly as possible, but it's hard to argue with what he's seen from Ventura here tonight. So nothing going on in the Royal bullpen right now. A little bit surprised that after that leadoff walk, he doesn't have somebody starting to toss.
Greg Holland, their closer, he's done for the season with an elbow injury. Wade Davis has taken over the closer's role. I think they've determined yet if Holland's going to need reconstructive surgery, and he does have a torn UCL.
And has posted huge numbers in this ballpark, as you just saw. Some big late game heroics.
Strike called 1-1 on him.
Kelvin Herrera is now the 8th inning guy for the Royals, setting up Davis.
Pitcher and catcher will discuss. Two on Bryant. This is outside. Stella on deck. No Anthony Rizzo tonight. Only the second time Anthony has not started this season. Possibly could see him off the bench late. Rolled not very hard to Moustakas. He's going to bear it, and he got him. Oh, what a play by Moustakas. Joe might want another look at it on a bang play at first, and they will definitely review it, and he beat it out.
Yeah.
That's going to be a huge play.
This one should not take long at all. Heck of an effort by Moustakas. Very nice play, but it'll be a base hit for Chris Bryant.
So foresight technology replay review, and the Cubs are going to win this one, and they're going to have 2 on with nobody out. Still, what an effort by Moustakas.
Big ovation goes up as they see it on the big board here. And that little rollover move like that coming out of the box, base runner gets a nice break, and we've talked about it all summer long. Chris Bryant, he can really run.
So by far the biggest threat for either team. First and second, no outs.
A situation here where you might be inclined to bunt, but with Listella up there, and this may sound kind of weird to some people because he's not, a typical middle of the order guy, but Joe really likes him against a power arm like Ventura, and he might not want to give up an out to advance these base runners. He might want Listella swinging. Royals will defend the bunt. They'll pinch at the corners.
Bryant's got those long strides. Definitely used it to his advantage. Infield hit. And the pitch to Listella. This is ball 1. There's Herrera. He's up. Team won 1 game in that rain-shortened 2-game series at the end of May. So this is the rubber game of the season series.
Trying to get Listella off the fastball. They go back-to-back changeups here to get started.
AT&T U-verse multi-view. Time called. Play ball. Zobrist, Escobar, Hosmer. Runner at third, 2 outs.
And there's the downside, not bunting. And again, I'm not arguing that the bunt was the right play. Usually in hindsight to make that point. And the key to that play was Zobrist, how aggressively he got after that ground ball.
Joe Madden knows all about Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, he closed the gap in a hurry, and that gave Escobar plenty of time to make the turn unimpeded.
It's the old neighborhood play. I'm not sure Escobar ever touched second base. 10 outs on the ground tonight for Ventura. Here's Castro. Number 90 of the night for Ventura. Ball 1.
Really struck it sharply last time. Line out to Kane out in deep left center.
Ventura from Samana in the Dominican Republic. Starlin Castro from Monte Cristi. Castro 25 years old, Ventura 24. Starlin's been in the big league since 2010. 2-1.
2-0 heater. Good aggressive hack, just didn't put it in play. I'm not sure, but I think Ventura winked at somebody before the pitch. Maybe it's just a little twitch. Either that, it's supreme confidence. Two and two.
Oakland at third. First time the Cubs have had a runner over there.
Just a little something here, a little flare to shallow right. Loop one in, that would work.
Swing and a miss, strike three, and that'll end the inning. So Ventura finds a way out of it. To the eighth, 0-0. Fan photo of the game. It's hashtag Northside Data Strong Fan. Send a picture there, and you just may see yourself in an upcoming telecast brought to you by T-Mobile. Here's the collision again. It's a bad one. He did get carted off. I guess he waved to the crowd. Board just knew it.
I couldn't tell, but it looked like he lost consciousness.
Yeah. 2 outs, bases loaded for the Pirates in the bottom of the 7th. So here we go. Cahill to Escobar. 8th inning. Swing and a miss. That seemed to be a premeditated swing, didn't it?
Sitting dead red, going to try to get out in front of one and hit one out of the ballpark or jack one into the corner.
Inside and in the dirt.
Morales is out on deck.
That's a strike. Good to see Dale Swain back here at Wrigley Field, former Cubs manager, the hitting coach of the Royals. Reunited with Ned Yost. They were on the same staff in Milwaukee. Ned was the manager, and actually Dale replaced Yost with 12 games to go, and the Brewers were a playoff team in 2008. Hit hard and foul by about a foot. So the Royals, the second team ever to improve their record in 6 consecutive seasons. The Philadelphia Athletics, 1919 to 25 did it. Second strikeout for Cahill.
Keeping with the theme, he goes for the changeup to get Escobar.
Been incredibly consistent this year. You referenced it off the top. This has been their worst month, 10 and 15 so far in September. Here's a switch hitting Morales.
Well, Royals doing something here they rarely do, and that being pinch hit. They've only had 30 pinch hit at bats all year. So while Ned likes to wheel and deal with that bullpen, once he sets his lineup and doesn't make many changes.
Well, maybe the Cubs can be the 2015 version of last year's Kansas City Royals. The one difference, Cubs will probably be on the road in the wild card game. That was a wild affair, wasn't it? They beat the A's 9-8 and 12, and then they just swept on through the American League. Beat the Angels, beat the Orioles, and an epic World Series went to 7 games. 1-0 on Morales. Key off-season signing. 2 years, $17 million plus a mutual option. Last year he didn't sign the Twins until June after being a compensation-free agent. And put up pedestrian numbers. Got traded to Seattle. A week ago Sunday in Detroit, he went 4 for 4 with 3 home runs. Added a triple and a walk. 15 total bases.
Switch hitter, 298 from the right side, 287 as a left-handed batter. 17 home runs from this side of the plate.
3-1.
A little less than 100 more at bats as a left-handed hitter than a righty.
It's really hard on a hop. Kicks right to Russell.
Plan to spring travel to Sloan Park and Mesa with Cubs destinations. Spring training packages include game tickets, hotel accommodations. Oh, that's a different read. Well, how about Cubs Authentics? It's the premier outlet for all MLB authenticated Cubs memorabilia. We went the whole year and just made our first mistake.
That was a good audible. That was Peyton Manning running.
Omaha. Somewhere in middle America. That's where the Royals AAA club was for the longest time. I believe it's still there.
Let me look now.
Yeah. Well, I was going to look, but I won't race you. I trust you.
2 strikes on Zobrist. Yeah, Omaha. Swing and a miss. Well, they have had an affiliation with Omaha the entire time they've existed. No score late. I guess a reminder to never tell Cap that you didn't start him, huh?
Well, I felt like I would, he's going to have even more incentive going forward because he got benched this week.
Right. The old Toyota upcoming schedule. Looks like that'll be 7 o'clock Central. Not official. Looks like that on Wednesday the 7th. We're not quite sure just yet, but the Cubs will be in that game.
Well, Herrera, in a very important part of this Royal bullpen. Boy, he's been tough to hit. 48 hits in 66 and 2/3 innings. Lefty's just 157. Not a real big dude, like 5'10", solidly built, and throws real hard. Upwards of 100 miles an hour.
1-1 on Montero, hit in the air to left. Gordon one-hands it. The Pirates have loaded the bases in 4 of their 7 innings on offense tonight. Still 0-0 in the 8th. Toronto a winner, 4-3 at Baltimore. So the Royals will have to win to remain tied. But again, they need to finish a game ahead of the Jays to hold home field over them.
So this American League, Yankees are pretty well settled, right? If they don't run down Toronto, and they're probably not going to do that. But they'll claim one of the wild cards. The West is where all the fun is, right? Rangers 2.5 games better than the Astros. The Angels just a half game behind Houston. So both those clubs, all 3 of those clubs in play for the division and the other wild card spot. And the Twins are right there too.
Soler pops it up, back of second. Just into the outfield. Green is Escobar.
It'd be kind of fun if 3 of those clubs all ended up with identical records. It could be a play-in to get to the play-in to get to the play-in. For a good while, it seemed like the Astros had a pretty good claim on that division, but the Rangers have been much better of late. Astros can't win on the road.
1 on Russell. Jerry DiPoto is the new GM of the Mariners. So he stays in the division. Stepped down with the Angels a few months ago. It'll be fun when the Angels and Mariners get together. DiPoto and Mike Scioscia have to be asked questions about each other.
Yep.
Strike called, 2-1. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Still waiting for that first run. Kelvin Herrera to the plate. We're going to go to the 9th inning in a scoreless tie. Royals and Cubs interleague play. Makeup of May 30th, and the pitchers have dominated. Business with Bears safety Antrell Roll. Get his reaction to yesterday's setback in Seattle, as well as a look ahead to Week 4 against Oakland. Don't miss the Antrell Roll show tomorrow night at 11 on CSN Chicago. Raiders are 2-1, aren't they?
I think they might be.
Chris Bryant's on the move again. Goes to right. Austin Jackson's now playing center.
Clayton Richard is now playing pitcher.
Yeah, why don't we ever say that? Playing pitcher.
He's played at 21 times already this year, and he's 4-2 with a 3.86 ERA.
You ever tell people you were a baseball player, or you say you were a pitcher?
Usually pitcher.
One ball, no strikes on Gordon. Four first names battling: Clayton, Richard, Alex Gordon. 2-0. Nice work by Trevor Cahill tonight. In the Royals contact team, they have struck out 12 times.
Yeah.
Schwarber makes the catch.
And the lowest strikeout rate in baseball. And a lot of swings and misses tonight. That's going to be it for Clayton Richard. One-third inning of quality work.
Should have said to Joe, I'm gassed. Skip.
Where you been, man?
Here comes Hector Rondon. O'Kane and Eric Hosmer.
Hector, 27 years of age, pitching for the 70th time. He's got a 1.74 ERA. He's converted 28 out of 32 save chances. Hasn't happened in a while. September 11th is when he picked up save number 28. It's obviously not a safe situation. We're in a tie ball game. Nobody's on base.
Save the tie. Swinging strike. And shaking his head. Bounce past LaStella. Russell sets, gets rid of it quickly. Safe at first. Kane runs very well.
Yeah, tall order to get Kane from the hole with his speed, but it was pretty close there at first base. Heck of a play by Addison Russell. Leans back, slings it across the infield. Kane just beat it. has stole 28 bases. He's been caught 6 times.
Hosmer has not put a ball in play. A walk, 2 strikeouts. Wide for ball 1. Over Coughlin, it's foul. Did we start an hour later than the Cardinals Pirates? We're in the 8th. Scoreless. We're in the 9th. 0-0.
Well, you mentioned all those opportunities the Pirates had leaving the bases loaded. There haven't been many opportunities for either club in this ball game. With a check on Kane. Hosmer, as I mentioned earlier in the ball game, is a guy who hits the ball on the ground a lot. And oftentimes hits it hard, so if he hits in the right spot, that could turn into an easy double play. Because of his propensity to pull the ball, Castro is not playing straight double play depth. He's playing a little further off the bag than you normally would.
Kane at first, 1 out. The throw. He's got 28 steals. Playoff vibe in the ballpark. This has been the case the last 10 days. Oh, he got it. You're right. Rondon picked off Lorenzo Kane. 2 outs. Nobody on now.
You can tell by his body language he was planning on running here, leaning, and perfectly timed by Rondon.
So back to the windup. 2-1 on Hosmer. Here it is. It's a strike. 2-2. In the air, left field. Schwarber makes the grab. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Cubs with a chance to win it. Just 1 run, 1 measly tally is all they need. Scoreless tie. Maybe this will jog your memory, JD. May 31st, throwback day. The Whales and the Packers, remember?
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't remember earlier, because it was the Whales. And the Mud Rossi.
What?
Oh, yeah, Jonathan Herrera with the bubblegum bucket on his head. It might have been the first time that he broke that out.
Here's right-hander Luke Hochevar.
Hochevar has found a home in the Royal bullpen the last couple of years after being a starter and did not have a lot of success as a starting pitcher. He's been pretty solid out of the pen.
Strike on Kyle Schwarber.
Made that transition in 2013. We had that graphic up earlier of all the homegrown talent. Hochevar, another one, was a #1 overall pick by the Royals back in 06.
Had some injury problems.
Cutter, he's going to go heater, cutter, curveball.
John surgery last year. #1 pick in the 06 draft. 1-2. Debuted at 07 with the Royals. Strike 3. Jackson with his first plate appearance just came into play center.
Cheat him a little bit the other way in the outfield. Some room to operate in left center. Kane shallow and more towards right. Luxury the Royals have because Gordon is so talented out there in left field. They could have Kane play an aggressive off-field shift and feel comfortable with Gordon's ability to run him down out there in left. Cover more ground than the average left fielder.
1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Hochevar 6'5", 225, 32 years old.
A lot of playing time for Jackson. Still looking for his first home run in a Cub uniform.
Three and 1. As Coghlan waits on deck. Yeah, I don't know if Hochevar ever wants to start again, but when you look at his career splits, 544 as a starter, 256 as a reliever. It's like he has found his role.
Yeah, and maybe got pushed a little too quickly. 06 draft pick in the big leagues. Goes for a cup of coffee in 07.
It's 3-2 to Jackson. Is hit in the air foul. And out of play. center field, right to King.
Well positioned to track down that solid line drive by Jackson.
Shaver to Coughlin. It's a strike.
Two teams with identical records. They split the first two games they played this year, and here they are tied 0-0, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. You could argue that they're very evenly matched.
For sure. Cardinals now have a lead. 1-0 in Pittsburgh. 3-game lead for the Cards going into that 3-game series. One and two. First pitch. And Coughlin's way. Cardinals got that run off Mark Melancon.
Hang on, they will open up a 4-game lead over Pittsburgh.
Go-ahead run scored on a Gregory Polanco error. 1-2. Popped him up. Foul ground, and we get extras. Hosmer's got it to the 10th. Cubs nothing, Royals nothing.
Beef jerky all season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side.
10th inning. Pedro Strop.
74th time for Strop, 4th time on this homestand. And he's pitched to a 3.05 ERA. Moustakas, Perez, Rios due up here for the Royals in the top of the 10th.
So through 9 innings, 6 hits combined, 3 walks, 19 strikeouts. Royals 0 for 3 with men in scoring position. The Cubs 0 for 2. So just not too many chances. Right to left, stroke to Moustakas. Slow breaking ball strike. Two.
He can't get you out.
Moustakas to pull on the infield, but more straight up in the outfield. That's the profile. He shoots the ball the other way a fair bit. One of the few guys who've not punched out yet in this ball game.
Center, Jackson. And Bryant will peel off. Blue Jays a winner, as we mentioned earlier tonight. Cardinals now lead 3-0. Mark Reynolds 2-run homer. So they're in good shape to win their 99th.
Yeah, that'll pretty much close the door on the Pirates.
And it'll be 4 back with what?
Cardinals will have 5 to go, and the Pirates 6, I think.
No, they played the same.
Both have 5 left.
One strike on the catcher Perez. The Cubs with a combined 2-hit shutout last night. That was Arrieta and Wood. And tonight, a combined 4-hitter. Problem is they don't have a run. One swing and a miss. Cubs 12-5 in extras. Royals 9-5.
The Toronto Ball Club. There comes a quick pitch. Toronto has outscored their opponent by 223 runs, by far the largest margin in baseball.
Yeah, so their run differential per game is 1.4. They're the only team in baseball to be outscoring their opponents by at least a run. In terms of extra innings and 1-run games and all that stuff, you'd rather be better than not in those situations. But the Cubs' 12-5 record, second only to the White Sox, 13-4 in extra innings. And the White Sox are 10 under overall. 2 outs as Stroh picks up his first punch out. Now Rios.
Yeah, I don't know that there's any way to quantify to place a value on that, to say that you win more extra inning games because you have a really good bullpen or anything like that. The bullpen may be why you're in the extra inning game to begin with. Maybe they coughed up a lead late.
The Atlanta Braves are 62-94. Care to take a guess what their 1-run record is? 27-18.
Yeah.
Toronto in 1-run games, 14-27.
Yeah.
They just blow people out. Could not hold. 2-2. Escobar on deck. They call old ballparks like this baseball cathedrals. And there's not a lot of kneeling, but there's a lot of standing and sitting.
A lot of praying.
And a lot of praying, yeah.
I dare say there's going to be a little bit of a change in atmosphere when we head to Cincinnati tomorrow. Be a whole lot of buzz in the ballpark. There may be a fair number of Cub fans there, however.
Yeah, I would think so. They walked him. So Stroke lets Rios get away. Here comes Escobar.
You get to this point in the final days of the season, you know what's coming in terms of that wild card game. So every game has value. You're trying to win every game, but now you're Joe Madden. You back off the gas pedal a little bit. Maybe you get your starter out a little bit sooner. You're not going to see guys like Strop and Rondon work 3 days in a row. And he tries to stay away from that anyway.
Well, I said a combined one-hitter last night for Arrieta and Wood. Only 4 Kansas City hits tonight. Cubs only have 2 themselves. Bounce to La Stella. He'll take the shorter throw. That's Castro at second, covering, and the Cubs were bad in the bottom of the 10th. Still 0-0.
Has crossed home plate. The newborn fan club is the perfect gift to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Receive a customized photo of the Wrigley Field marquee, a Cubs birth certificate, baby stocking cap, and a Rookie of the Year onesie. Visit Cubs.com/kids today.
Veteran right-hander Ryan Madsen
Well, it's been a successful return to the big leagues for the big righty. Missed all kinds of time with arm issues. Various ailments have kept him out of action. This is his first big league time this year since 2011. Long successful run with the Phillies. And a solid year this year. 1-2, 2.24 the ERA. He's on for the 66th time. If a pitch could sponsor a ball game, tonight's game would be brought to you by the changeup. It's been a big part of it here tonight, and this guy features a changeup as well.
Bryant swings and misses.
And has a stiff arm over the top, iron mic delivery like the old pitching machines. Goes four-seam fastball up, and then he comes from the same exact spot with that straight change, and it could be really difficult for the hitter.
First time back in the big leagues this year for Madsen since 2011. Did not pitch at all professionally last year. Tommy John surgery 2012. Got injured in spring training after signing with the Reds. One and two. He's 35. He's throwing 97. Long time Philly.
The changeup, perfectly executed. Shows in the zone, stays on the plate, dips down below the knees.
Strike on Lostella. Kick and the pitch, swing and a miss. 1-2. Strikes out. Vanishing changeup. 2 strikeouts for Madsen.
Yeah, you think about Madsen's changeup, then Cole Hamels, longtime starter with the Phillies, now with the Rangers. He had such a devastating changeup, and you wonder how much influence Johnny Padres had, longtime pitching coach in Philadelphia. Pods, man, that was his pitch.
Ball, no strikes on Starlin Castro. 10th inning, no score. Cubs had 2 on, nobody out in the 7th. Their best chance. And Donald Ventura got out of it. On the ground in the left. 2-out single for Castro.
For Castro tonight. Hit the ball hard. Back in the 5th. Struck out last time. A single here, and Barry's going to run for him. Pitcher spot due up after Montero. So Joe has in mind in terms of a pinch hitter. Remember, Anthony Rizzo didn't start. He's available.
Here's Montero. See if Barry's thinking about going. He looks runner-ish, and Madsen will throw over.
Madsen, because of that change of pace, very good against left-handed hitters. They're only hitting 198 against him.
Rizzo on deck.
Barry was caught stealing here the other day. It was the first time in his big league career that had happened. He was 25 out of 25.
Him what he does to get loose as a pinch runner, especially in the tight quarters of the Cubs clubhouse. He says he jumps rope, stretches, but not really a clubhouse conducive to doing sprints, is it?
No, not a whole lot of room in there.
Strike on the Cubs catcher. Barry not running, and called strike 2.
Would have been a skosh high. Normally see that one called a strike.
That was a letter high strike. Yep.
Look at Perez, pulls it down about 6 inches. Question that Madsen has: does he double up fastball in, or does he go with the changeup here?
He was leaning that time, but he got back. Hosmer wants Ned Yost to take a look.
Similar to the Kane pickoff earlier. Looks like he got back.
Cardinals a winner. They've got their magic number down to 2. So one more win in that series in Pittsburgh, and they take the division.
It's interesting, Phil, because he stepped out, called timeout, and Madsen broke his hands, and Barry broke as if he was going to steal second base. As you said, he is looking runnerish.
Swing and a miss. Change up. Kryptonite for the Cubs hitters here in the 10th inning against Ryan Madsen. Chris game continues. He's now at third base. Stella now playing second. Let's see. Quentin Berry is in the center, and Fernando Rodney is pitching. So for Bryant, first, center, right, third.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times late in the year like this, teams are out of contention and games don't have as much meaning. You might see a player play all 9 positions. It's happened a few times in big league history. Bryant might get there tonight. He's like roaming around.
Jackson's in right as well. So I think that's it for the changes. Left to right, Schwarber, Barry, Jackson. Third to first, Bryant, Russell, LaStella, Coghlan. And the battery, Montero back of the plate with Rodney on the mound. Christian Colon off the bench here in the 11th. Madsen spot.
Keeping with the theme, Rodney's best pitch, the changeup.
One and one.
Changeup obviously more effective when you can light up the radar gun as well, and you can do that too.
Cup cranking it up. 1 and 2 on Cologne. Zobrist on deck. Cologne in his 62nd major league game tonight. 4th overall pick, 2010 draft. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Miguel Almonte in the Royals bullpen.
Time for a cool change. Never got there, but eventually got there. Just a little later than Cologne anticipated.
Zobrist from Eureka, Illinois. Ronald Reagan went to college there, Eureka. Zobrist went to Olivet Nazarene University in Bourbonnais and then Dallas Baptist University. Got him from Oakland on July the 28th after being sent to the A's in January by Tampa Bay.
Don't you have to say Eureka every time you drive through there? When people ask him where he was born, Eureka!
Slightly chokes up on the bat. Switch hitter. And 1 and 2.
Originally an Astro farmhand.
He's had a nice career. 10th season, 2-time All-Star. Plays everywhere. He bounces to Bryant. Zobrist 0 for 5 from that leadoff spot. 2 outs. It's Alex Gordon.
Good news on the Jake Arrieta for Cy Young campaign front. Zach Greinke has given up 2 runs tonight. Early, the Giants lead the Dodgers 2-0. They're in the 2nd inning.
I think if Greinke is simply human in his last couple of starts, Jake's got a very good shot. Clayton Kershaw in the mix. Those guys will all finish in the top 3, right?
Yeah.
The order.
Yeah. And I think right now I think it's Jake's would be my best guess.
Hit hard, knocked down by Rodney. Does he have time to recover? He does. The ball was hit really hard by Gordon. Nice
Shoot the
play.
arrow.
Yeah.
Shoot the arrow.
Come on, Fernando. Thinking about it. Still scoreless. Seven hits combined. The Cubs with a chance to walk off a winner. Miguel Almonte here in the 11th.
Yeah, this is interesting. Almonte, just the 9th big league game he will appear in. And not pitched above A ball prior to this year. This year split time between AA and AAA as a starting pitcher primarily. Exclusively a starter at AA, and then at AAA made 6 starts, 5 relief appearances, all out of the pen since joining the Royals. Just 22 years of age.
6'2", 180 as he faces pitch batter Chris Denorfia. Driven deep to left. Ball game over. Cubs win. Cubs win. Chris Denorfia with a rocket.
How sweet is that for Chris Denorfia? Has not had too many chances of late, but he delivers the walk-off. What a way to end the final regular season home game of the year. Walk-off home run for Chris Denorfia. A no-doubter for your forward home run replay. Man, did he tie into that one.
A little doubt about it off the bat. Well, the Cubs within 3.5 getting home field advantage.
Not the most hospitable welcome to Wrigley Field for that young right-hander. One pitch, sucks up an L.
The Cubs finished tied with the Pirates for the wild card. They would host. They won the season series. And let's go down to the field. Kelly Crawl standing by with a hero.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, it seems fitting that a walk-off would be the way this team would wrap up the regular season in front of their home fans.
Yeah, what a great night. You know, just great pitching all around, both sides. The anticipation of that was worse. That was like 2 seconds.
I gave you the heads up. I mean, I moved out of the way and everything. Well, what do you, there at the end of that first pitch, you were swinging. What'd you see?
Yeah, I know he's going to try to get ahead right there, and I got a fastball in the middle, so I put a good swing on it, and now we can go on this last road trip and hopefully wrap up this season in style.
Keep things rolling. Chris, thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
There you guys go. Chris Denorfia, the hero tonight. Cubs win it 1-0.
About 11 innings, Kelly. 2 hours, 49 minutes. JD, we were on pace. What was it, 51-minute?
Yeah, 1919, a 51-minute game, the fastest 9-inning game in baseball history. It was that kind of game. The pitching outstanding here tonight. You had the feeling somebody was going to knock one out of this ballpark, and Chris Denorfia was the man tonight.
Cubs finish the home schedule 49-32, and they hope they're not done yet here at Wrigley Field. Our Binny's Beverage Depot toast of the game. First pitch of the inning. Denorfia leaves the yard, and the Cubs win in extras.
I seem to recall Chris getting mugged out there in the middle of the infield earlier this year on a walk-off base hit. This time it's a long ball. Kelly backs out of the shot. It's kind of like in the Western when the guy steps in, he pokes his head out of the saloon, then carefully walks back in because he knows something bad is about to go down.
Hey, great work by our entire Comcast Sportsnet home crew. We've had a blast. We always have fun, but it's always more fun when you win like the Cubs have at home this year. So, your final score, once again, in 11 innings, Cubs 1 and the Royals nothing. We're back with you tomorrow, 6 o'clock. The Cubs and the Reds from Cincinnati to start the final road trip. For JD and our entire wonderful crew here at Wrigley Field, I'm Len Casper, inviting you to stay tuned. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live is next.